And it's time for another Macro Monday, where I get you ready for the week ahead in 5 minutes or less. Just a reminder, as always, this is just a small snippet of our full Macro Monday newsletter. So if you're looking for more in-depth coverage on the week ahead, I highly advise you to check out the link that I'm going to put in the description of this video. That will bring you to our full newsletter. I think you'll really enjoy it if you're enjoying these videos. As always, we're going to start with the chart of the week, but it's going to be a little different this time because it's shaping up to be another really light week on the data front, both because there's just not that much data this week and, of course, the government shutdown. So we do have some news, though. A large regional bank disclosed losses tied to commercial and industrial loans following several auto-related bankruptcies in September. In response, JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon added to the unease when he said, "When you see one cockroach, there are probably more." The regional banking index, KRE is the ticker, has dropped over 10% over the past month, while European and Japanese banks have held up a little bit better. Gold's rally, here I'm looking at GLD, is up nearly 16% in October. This underscores the market's risk-off tone. So banks down, gold's up, gold up. Volatility like this is typical following a trough in the business cycle as employment weakens and consumers come under some strain. And that lines up with what we're seeing in leading indicators and brings us to this chart. So in leading indicators such as the ISM New Orders Index, this has implications for the CPI report on Friday. As you can see in this chart, leading indicators like the New Orders Index have been trending higher. And the CPI report on Friday, we have headline inflation is expected to rise 3.1% in September from 2.9% in August, while core CPI is also projected at 3.1%. Now, later this month, on October 29th, we have the Fed meeting, and markets right now across the board are nearly unanimous in expecting another 25 basis point cut. So, if we were to see an upside surprise in inflation, this could complicate the outlook for markets as well as the Fed, especially at a time where we're not getting the same volume of data that we're used to. So again, this could just create some potential uncertainty if on Friday we get a surprise to the upside in inflation. And as I mentioned, this is shaping up to be another really light week on the data front, but there still are a few notable things that we want to point out. So on Thursday, we have the Kansas City Fed manufacturing PMI, which if you've been listening to this video, you probably haven't heard me mention before. That's not really a major focus of ours, but given the government shutdown, any data we're getting may carry more weight than usual. So again, this will be something we're paying attention to, partly because there's not that much currently coming out right now to pay attention to. And the other thing to point out is on Friday, besides the big CPI report, which will be coming out, so even though that's government data, that will be coming out. Otherwise, on Friday, we'll get the preliminary market PMIs for October, as well as the Michigan Sentiment Report. We typically take preliminary numbers, so talking about the S&P Manufacturing PMI and the S&P Services PMI, with a grain of salt, because again, they are just preliminary. But under current conditions, again, when there's not that much to look at, they could prove informative. And then just to wrap things up on the data front, the big thing we're all looking forward to, 8:30 a.m. on Friday, the CPI and core CPI. Mentioned that on the chart of the week. Nothing more to say here, just that will be the thing that investors are focused on, and that is the thing that has the potential to really move markets and affect the outlook for the rest of the year based on what is the Fed going to do if we see some upside surprises to inflation. Thanks for watching. That's where I'm going to leave you here. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos, and I will see you right back here next week for another Macro Monday.